Welcome everyone to the 5th SolStreet Block Party. We do these monthly community calls to touch base and update you as a community member on the progress of SolStreet and what is coming up this month. I have the team with me today to discuss the new SolStreet Litepaper, outlining the SolStreet Vision, the Tokenomics, and much more. The SolStreet Wolfies NFT collection, the V2 in its alpha state, and how to stay updated on all the content that comes your way so that you don't miss any important information. To kick us off, we have Hein, who will discuss some of the business development side of things. Hein, please take it away.
Thanks for joining us again for the latest block party. So to recap, SolStreet was really built to serve the need for people to launch decentralized and non-custodial asset management pools, and the need for others to find and invest in those pools. The original vision is really focused on DeFi, which is why the assets available on SolStreet today are all DeFi. We really love what the DeFi ecosystem has achieved up to date, and we're proud of the manner in which DeFi withstood the market shocks of the last few months, when multiple unicorn-level funds like Voyager, BlockFi, Celsius, Three Arrows, and others tumbled into crisis on the heels of a $20 billion stablecoin failure. DeFi kept working as intended. But a rock-solid financial system is only one part of a successful ecosystem. DeFi has solved the problem of how to buy, but we need a great deal more of what to buy. That's what we think is needed for mass adoption of crypto. And so for crypto to take the next step, there needs to be something to buy. This is where non-fungible tokens come in, we think. We all know the JPEGs that we know and love to flip, but that is only one kind of NFT. The future of NFTs are limitless, and they include things like digital native assets like digital tokens, as well as off-chain things like physical assets, and a lot more. It's really NFTs that are going to bring content to crypto. And so on the DeFi side of things, we've got the Street token. We've just released the latest version of the Tokenomics, and we would love for you to visit our website, check it out, and give us some feedback. The guiding principle in the design of the tokenomics for the Street token was that we wanted Street to maximally incentivize use of SolStreet and to place the majority of tokens in the hands of the community of users. The minority of the Street tokens will vest to the non-community category. This includes the SolStreet Strategic Reserve, strategic investors, the team, and some early advisors. So the strategic investors and early advisors get a total of about 17% of all Street, and the strategic reserve gets about 20%. The team gets 10%, and because we want the tokens to be decentralized, 53% of all Street will go to the community. And this will happen through competition rewards, the bootstrap mechanism, performance mining, and more. Now, in designing these tokenomics, we studied as best we could the tokenomics of other protocols to see what we think works and what we think doesn't work. From what we could see, there are really two reasons to own a token: speculation and utility. And we want Street to have utility because we think that something has more value in the hands of someone who wants to use it. So when you look at the majority of the Street tokens, which as we say goes to the community, a good chunk of that goes into the bootstrap mechanism. The bootstrap mechanism we describe in the Litepaper, but it's really a token launch method to ensure that tokens go to users as opposed to speculators. That said, the vast majority of the community pool Street can only be obtained through performance mining. And performance mining is really the ultimate test of who is a SolStreet user. So through this program, users will compete to share in performance mining Street rewards by A, running or investing in performing pools, and B, by staking and locking Street. So to summarize, A, that's really, are you as a user good at either running a fund or finding a good fund to invest in? And B, are you aligned to SolStreet by staking and locking your Street? The more any user achieves good performance while staking and locking Street, the more the user will share in performance mining rewards. If, on the other hand, the user fails to achieve performance and or fails to stake or lock Street, the user will lose out on performance mining rewards to another user. and that other user who would have won that essentially competition, an indirect competition, is ahead because they've achieved better performance and they're more aligned in terms of holding and staking Street. But the Street tokenomics is only half the story. As we said, we are not only looking at the how, but also the what. With this in mind, we're fast approaching our NFT Wolfies launch, and we'll soon publish the Litepaper for that as well. Wolfies will be built around the same principle as Street, which is that we want Wolfies in the hands of users so that it can have utility for them. And we'll be gearing the incentives in the Litepaper as best we can to hit that objective. Wolfies are really our way of introducing the community to an important component of the future of SolStreet, which is the concept of the NFT-based pool. It's through decentralized and non-custodial NFT pools that we think SolStreet captures the majority of what the future value of crypto will be, which is the what. It's the thing that we think that people will be trading on crypto, the thing that crypto in general becomes useful for, sits in the realm of NFTs. And we think that enabling people to start pools, to invest in NFTs, and for others to find and invest those pools is the way to make it happen. And so we're very proud that Alexis demoed a very early version of the SolStreet NFT-based pool a week or two ago at the Hacker House event. Unlike most of the JPEGs you guys have been flipping, Wolfies already have a product and a community. And we have a roadmap that we're very excited about. And we think that it speaks beautifully to the Street token. We think that they are very much aligned to each other, the Wolfie and the Street token. And we think that both make practical sense in the context of what SolStreet as a protocol is and what we'd like to achieve with it, and the kind of users that we would like to incentivize to participate in SolStreet. Thank you.
Thank you, Hein. Yeah, thanks for answering so many of the questions I think you had on the Litepaper. Some more questions that the community has is regarding product, who I'll leave in the hands of Alexis to cover. Alexis, please take it away.
Good to have you here at our next community call, our next block party. Yeah, as Hein mentioned, I've been jumping around a bit. Attended a couple of hacker houses, one in London and one in Barcelona, where I got to demo the NFT pools, which was good fun. Made a lot of connections at both of those events, and very, very exciting to see all the stuff that's happening in and around the Solana ecosystem. We might be in a bear market around speculation, but on the building side, it's still full-blown bull market. There's so much stuff happening. So yeah, just to touch on V2, which I'm pretty sure everybody is aware is now live. We've had some major updates there. We've spoken about them before. Big key points there are the basket size of assets that's available now. So we've got the 10 assets on Serum and the 10 assets on Mango. So a fund can essentially have 20 assets at any given time, which was a big achievement and took a lot of work in the background to achieve that. And then you'll see that you'll be able to close your accounts now. So if you've had a bunch of tokens in your fund and you want to close out those token accounts, you can actually close them now in this version. And Nabil will chat a bit about how we're handling the closing of accounts in V1, which is not actually a feature, but we'll run through manual reimbursements on that side. And then we've also, exciting, we've built another integration. This one's into Orca. So for those of you who don't know what Orca is a simulated automated market maker that's on Solana, and it simulates the AMM style swapping of tokens the same way that Uniswap works. So we did an integration there, and what happens there is we route some of our swap volume through Orca when the tick size is too small to process on Serum. And then we've also got the possibility to now just add and remove any tokens that we want on both the Serum markets and on the Mango markets. And then we've also built all of the infrastructure in the background. We're still busy on some of that, which would then enable the native Street token to be integrated directly into the the V2 version. So that would then bring in the performance mining rewards, staking rewards, and handle the X Street and VX Street tokens. So I guess that'll lead me into some community questions that have been floating around. Some people have been asking just to give a little bit of an explanation around the tokenomics and the street token, X Street and VX Street, and what exactly they are. So we have one token, and that's a street token, and that's the utility token within the SolStreet ecosystem. And that street token, as it sits, just a token that would be traded on the open market, has no real utility within SolStreet. So to then reward users within SolStreet, which is what Hein was referring to, where we want community members and active users to be rewarded rather than speculators. We've used the X Street model. So the X Street is similar to the sushi X sushi token, which is they sort of pioneered this setup. Was once you've staked your tokens, then value accrues to the stake token holders from the open market. So the protocol buys and redistributes tokens rather than buying and burning tokens. And then the VX Street is a locked and boosted version of it. So if you've staked your street and then you stake and lock your street, this takes design ideas from the curve model, so where you've got the VE curve tokens, and what this then is boost your voting power within SolStreet. So if you lock your street, you immediately get. So if you stake your street, you immediately get voting power. And if you want to boost that voting power, you can then lock it up for a certain amount of time. So you could say a few days, or you could say a few months, or you could say a few years. And the reason for that is so that users with less street, first of all, can increase, if they believe in the long-term vision of the protocol, they can increase their voting power with a lower amount of tokens. And it also then aligns long-term thinkers with protocol decisions, which is what we really want. We don't want speculators to be making those decisions on long-term protocol decisions. We'd rather have people who are aligned on a longer-term time horizon to then be rewarded with higher voting power. So that's essentially what those three versions of Street are. So Street would be a fungible token. X Street would then theoretically also be a fungible token, and VX Street would be non-fungible. So, but not in the sense that it's an NFT, but you wouldn't be able to swap your VX Street. That's locked to a user's wallet. So it's just like a multiplier. And then the mechanics behind the staked street and the VX Street then also tie back into how the performance mining rewards are calculated, and you can go check the math on the Litepaper around how those performance mining, essentially we call it a VX mod score, and that's a function of your street and your VX street, as well as your TVL and performance, and that's time weighted then as well. So you can see all of that in the Litepaper. If anybody wants to chat a bit more about that, you can just fire a few more questions around it, but that's it at its core. And then there's been another question that came from the community, was sort of overcoming the issues around the Solana blockchain, which people have seen of late, where there's been some congestion within the chain. We long-term believers in Solana. We have no plans on building on a different blockchain. The reality is what we're building and the way we're building it on Solana, it is impossible on any other blockchain at the moment. And we don't intend on moving or trying to work within the bounds of another blockchain. What we're seeing within the Solana runtime and with these issues, like these are natural teething issues that anything of this sort of scale is going to see. And we believe in the long-term vision of Solana and the core devs and the vision of what they're trying to build out there. If you don't know enough of what the differences are between the Solana runtime and any other blockchain, you should go and do some more research on that, because there are some fundamental differences that no other blockchain is building out the same way that Solana is building out, and has just frankly doesn't have those capabilities. So yeah, it's teething issues, not necessary for us to look at any other blockchains to build out on. Yeah, the lock drop mechanism, there was another question around that, around the 50 million and the 50 tokens in contrast to 53 million. As Hein mentioned in the opening discussion, that's 53 million going to the community. So that's just a typo in the adding up of which are community and which are not. Yeah, that's there was one last question, and that was about maintaining a minimum treasury balance. We haven't actually locked in anything there, but I do imagine that we'd have some form of a minimum balance that we'd maintain in the treasury, but the rest of those funds would then distribute back out to those different avenues. So you can see those three different routes that we can, through governance votes, decide where the value accrues to. Yeah, so that's about everything on the product side. A little bit on the NFT funds. It's a very, very sort of rough around the edges MVP that we built out, but it worked, and we can buy and hold NFTs in a non-custodial fund, which is very exciting, and we see there's a big opportunity for that. So we will be building out and reaching out to community members around that, and if anybody in the community, anybody listening to this has any sort of connections into people who are very active in NFT trading or setting up NFT funds, who are interested in getting involved on that side, please reach out to me or to Nabil. We'd love to chat to you. We'd love to get some community input on the process as we build out that product. Thanks a lot, and over to Nabil.
Thanks a lot, Alexis, for covering so many of the community's questions regarding the product and the Litepaper and the tokenomics, of course. Now, to chat more about Wolfies and how that's going to be coming to you hard and fast this month is our very own head of growth, Jeff.
Yes. That was like a WWE wrestler's intro. I feel like I should be playing a walkout song. That might be a cool idea for future, actually. But what's up, guys? Good to have you all here. Good to see some of the faces we've seen on previous calls, some of the new ones too. Let's get straight into it. I think a lot of what I'm gonna elaborate on has been teased already by Hein and Alexis respectively. But let me start at the most meaningful place, which is Wolfies. Like Hein said pretty explicitly, and like Alexis insinuated in our NFT pool infrastructure that we're building, we're super bullish on NFTs, and we see them being in probably a slightly different format to what they are now, but we see them being an incredibly important part of the future of SolStreet. And that's been the case since we started last year. Those of you guys who've been around since then will have seen the Wolfie imagery and iconography and wording all over our stuff since then. So this was something that was always in the pipeline. It's just now coming to fruition, and it's the right moment for it. So let me say this first. In the Speculate channel on Discord earlier, I posted a couple cryptic emojis, which I don't think anyone was able to crack, but the two emojis were a spider's web and then a page hinting to go look at the web page. There's a new page on SolStreet.finance called Wolfies, which is a kind of landing page for the time being, but go check it out in your time, and let me then tell you about the Litepaper. So the Litepaper is going to be coming out later tonight. This is the Wolfie's Litepaper. I saw that someone asked whether there was in fact a separate Wolfie's Litepaper. It's going to be published within our existing Litepaper when the time comes, but it is essentially a standalone document, like a mini Litepaper of its own. Something Hein also mentioned is that, you know, the guiding philosophy for Wolfies is to make them as valuable as they possibly can be to SolStreeters, to our community, to our users. I'll tease some of the utility that be able to read about in the Litepaper in a moment. But one key detail to say before then, I know Ramesh, this is what you've been waiting for, my friend. We are pleased to be announcing that we'll be launching through the Magic Eden Launchpad on the 27th of July, so a short 3 weeks away, and we're incredibly excited for that. You're gonna be seeing a lot of noise being made, but please also be part of that noise. We're gonna be doing everything we can to generate the most possible interest for Wolfies, and that starts with what's in the Litepaper. I'm really confident in the product we're selling, and if I were to consider myself a salesperson for the purposes of the NFT sale, I would be very happy that I'm selling a product I believe in. So join us in making noise about that. I promise you that those of you who've been around, who've supported us, who've used the product, there will be space for you in our most high priority whitelist. Let me tell you what the 4 major pieces of utility are for Wolfies. Again, this will be in much more detail in the Litepaper, so treat yourself to that later on. But first of all, we'll be having something called the Street Token Hunt, and I won't divulge any of the very specifics of this, but safe to say there will be street tokens available for hunting to Wolfie holders. There will also be performance mining rewards available to Wolfie holders, and not just to Wolfie holders, in fact, just to Wolfie holders. Performance mining rewards are going to be accessible only to Wolfie holders, which is a pretty significant revelation. You guys probably by now understand the weight and the consequence of this performance mining program, and the really central role it's going to be playing in our protocol development. Wolfies are your win, so look out for more detail on that. Then trading fee discounts. If you've been through the fee section of the Litepaper, you will have seen that there's a mechanism by which you can unlock discounts on the protocol fees by staking Street, and Wolfies will represent an equivalent to a certain amount of staked Street. In other words, it'll unlock the first few tiers of discounts simply by virtue of your holding that Wolfie. And then last but not least, and this is something that you would have seen said in a million different ways over 1,000 different NFT communities, but the Wolfpack is here to stay. The Wolfpack is going to be the core and the beating heart and the soul of SolStreet's community going forward, and we've got a lot of cool plans for that. And that's kind of all of these other things are very concrete, and you can kind of put numbers to how you would value a Wolfie through that, but it's very difficult to value this intangible community. You know, the fact that we have someone as talented and intelligent as Nabil as a full-time community manager, I think is as strong a signal as anything as to how highly we value community and how carefully we're thinking about it. So yeah, that one's not to be slept on, as the kids say. Talking about the Wolfpack, we are going to be making some changes to the way our Discord is structured. It's going to be receiving a little bit of a makeover for the pack, so to accommodate the pack better, and you're going to see a lot more of what I mean by that. But yeah, we're going to be doing things for the pack. Let's leave it at that. Okay, then just one thing I'd like to reiterate that I said on the previous block party is just that these last few months have been fairly stealthy, fairly quiet. fairly calm and peaceful within the community. And the next few months just won't be that way. It's going to get a little bit chaotic over the remainder of this month, and we're going to be doing our utmost to not lose the core of what we are. That's where you guys come in, and I want to make a call to all of you listening. You are the best representation of what SolStreet is and what we want it to be. And you can't underestimate the impact that each of you guys listening right now will have on what the community looks and feels like in the future. Based on the way your voices, your presences will set the tone for new incomers as they flock in from Wolfie interest and as the protocol grows as a product. Please be those ambassadors for us. Be thoughtful, be value adding, be kind, give people the benefit of the doubt, and let's build a Discord server that we legitimately want to hang out on for having fun, for learning, for making money as well. Yeah, get ready, prepare for the great unstealthing. Finally, just some quick updates on other bits of information you can expect over the month ahead. We've now published the updated Tokenomics, so again, read through that if you've not. The Wolfies Litepaper coming later today. The official announcement of our Series A funding round and the investors involved in that, which Hein teased on our previous block party, will also be coming out shortly. And then we'll be doing some deeper dives on some of the technical wins that we've had on the way to the big one being live. A lot of what Alexis spoke of in his couple of minutes of time in the limelight there is kind of easy to gloss over, but there's some seriously big wins that have been made on the technical front, and we'll be unpacking those a bit better over the month to come. So that's it for me, guys. See you on Discord.
Awesome. Thanks, Jeff, for the kind words and the wonderful and exciting updates on Wolfies. As Jeff was saying, we do expect things to get a lot more chaotic in the coming months. They simply will not be quiet. And so the Discord as our first point of call for all important unveilings and in-depth discussions could also feel the wrath of this chaos. To help mitigate that a little, roles will become even more structured than they already are. There'll be a bunch of new roles, such as gamer role if you want to be involved in the games channel, fund manager role if you want to just discuss your fund and with other fund managers, things like that. Old roles like being SolStreet Cubs, Wolves, Testers are essentially the OG roles of SolStreet Discord and cannot be understated how important they are. As Jeff said, we are really at the forefront of everything we do with the NFT collection, making sure that we do bring the most value first and foremost to our OG community members, you who have helped us build and get to where we are today, and who will be there to get us to where we all want to be. Having said that, I'd like to also touch on some product related things. So firstly, I'd like to thank you all for helping out with feedback in the early stages of the V2 Alpha. Please feel free to give any suggestions and any more feedback every day as much as you like on Discord. I love going through it all. There's never a dumb question or too in-depth you want to go, feel free. Having said that, V1 is something we're trying to transition away from, but there are of course still funds in V1 for some of you. So I ask you to please redeem your funds in V1. The best way to do that is to first swap all of your assets to USDC and then redeem simply as USDC. This process isn't necessary in V2, but as we look forward, we will not be retrospectively adding it to V1, only having it in the current version V2. As Alexis touched on earlier, doing this won't close accounts that still have SOL in it. if you opened up a bunch of asset accounts to trade Sol, Cope, all the BTC, all the other assets, you'll still have a bit of Sol left in those closed, in those open accounts. If you'd like that Sol back, I'll be posting a Google form for you to simply post the link to the funds that have the open accounts, and I'll be reimbursing the Sol for you so that you have even more to invest on SolStreet V2 Alpha. With all the exciting things and chaos that we expect in the coming months, content will be flying your way. And to make sure that you don't miss anything important, first and foremost, be active on the Discord, talk to me. I'm here to listen, I'm here to chat. And secondly, talk to our content specialist, Pat, who will run us through everything you need to do to ensure that you do not miss a thing when it comes to SolStreet. Pat, please take it away, sir.
Nab, thank you for that kind intro and all of the updates, guys. Absolutely brilliant. But yeah, what's up, SolStreeters? As always, it's Pat here, Protocol Content Specialist, as Nab said. As everyone's already told you, June was another crazy one for us, right? So, got the big one that kicked off. We demoed the protocol at 2 different hacker houses, and we wrapped up a number of changes to our Litepaper and the Wolfie collection. So, as the team's content specialist, you'll know that my role is to ensure that our various reads and resources can serve as one-stop shops for you all when it comes to those when and what queries. We obviously want you all to be kept in the loop as we continue to make changes and as we continue to grow. So yeah, as Nab said, here's a quick reminder for everyone on how you'll always be able to find yourself in the know. For starters, we have the weekly mailer, which drops same time every Friday. It's 4:30 UTC. In it, Nab and I will fill you in with every major change our team has worked on, as well as the issues that we fixed. For those of you looking for something which is a little more in-depth and all-encompassing, please look no further than the Monthly Roundup. This drops on our Medium, as you can imagine from the name, every month, and it covers the past changes made in the 4-week period. It's also a fantastic bit of reading before this community call, so don't forget to check it out. With Wolfies coming at us, as Jeff and Nab said, hard and fast, you'll no doubt want to be kept in the loop. So this means keeping an eye out on your mailbox after signing up for the news using the new Wolfies page. There's a new sign-up sheet there. A newsletter sign-up button, so please go check that out. And of course, because of the rate at which crypto moves, at which new and interesting projects spawn and grow, it's a little bit tricky to always filter that from the news that is, actually worth tuning in for from what we always call it the FUD and noise. So fortunately I'm here to scour the Solana sphere, go through various web and news outlets to compile a little selection of carefully curated reads and ecosystem updates for you all. So please be sure to check out our SolStreet journal. It drops on the weekly every Thursday, 5:30 UTC. Community members, it's been great to have some of you join in on the chat on the SSJ Discord channel. I mean that it's been fantastic to see you there. Please keep on posting some of the latest happenings and continue sharing your thoughts, questions, and hot takes. Although you ought to be one, if you're not a subscriber already to the mailer, fear not, you can catch up at the end of the month. I'll be posting previous copies as PDFs. Again, also please share some memes, everybody. Send them every now and again. I think it's something that we can all do with during these crazy times. Whilst you're at it with that, please subscribe to our Medium and YouTube channels. And if you're active on the platform, be sure to check out our LinkedIn page. And of course, as everyone said, the new Litepaper is out, so please go have a look. I'm really grateful to all of you that make up the SolStreet community and SolStreet Journal subscribers. I see you. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining. Nab, let me hand it back over to you.
Thank you for those wonderful updates, Pat. As a final word, I'd like to thank you all for building with us. SolStreet is a reflection of what you as a community make it. And I look forward to chatting and getting to know you more on this journey together. I'll see you guys all in the Discord. Don't forget me when things get chaotic. Thanks, team. Thanks, everyone, for joining live.
Thanks so much for coming, guys.
And thank you, Nab, for that fantastic bit of, chairperson of the meeting. Really enjoyed that.
You're welcome.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for joining. Cheers.
Thanks, everyone.
Cheers. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.